Listen, there comes a moment in every person's life when comfort becomes a curse. You can't pray for expansion and still worship your excuses. You can't say you want greatness and still make peace with mediocrity. The truth is simple. No one's coming to push you. You've got to force yourself to level up. Because destiny doesn't respond to desire, it responds to discipline. And discipline is the bridge that carries you from where you are to where you were born to be. See, the challenge with most people isn't that they lack opportunity. It's that they lack urgency. We want the reward without the responsibility. We want the fruit, but we resist the soil. We want the spotlight, but we won't fight through the shadows. The people who win in life are not the ones who feel like doing it. They're the ones who force themselves to do it, even when it hurts, even when no one's watching, even when it doesn't make sense. That's the difference between average and excellent, between broke and blessed, between ordinary and outstanding. Desire is cheap. Everybody's got it. Everybody wants something. Success, freedom, wealth, impact. But only a few ever step into the discipline it takes to get there. Because desire feels good, but discipline gets it done. The truth is, motivation fades, but mastery remains. Discipline is the real evidence that you're serious about what you say you want. You don't build greatness in the moment of inspiration. You build it in the moments of repetition. The times when it's not exciting, not convenient, not applauded. The moments when no one's clapping, no one's watching, and you show up anyway. That's when you separate the dreamers from the doers. Here's the truth most people run from. You'll never rise above the level of your discipline. Not your talent, not your potential, not your wish list, your discipline. Because talent might open a door, but only discipline keeps it open. Discipline is that invisible force that holds everything together when life starts shaking. It's what allows you to keep showing up when the results don't show up yet. See, the most successful people in the world aren't the ones who had the most resources. They're the ones who refuse to make excuses. They turned pain into persistence and inconvenience into instruction. They didn't wait for the right mood. They created the right movement. You have to understand, discipline is not punishment, it's preparation. Every act of discipline is an investment in your destiny. Every early morning, every late night, every sacrifice, it's stacking compound interest in your future. And the problem with most people is they quit too early. They want the promise without the process. They want the crown without the cross. But greatness doesn't grow in convenience, it grows in consistency. Discipline is not about doing it once. It's about doing it until it becomes who you are. It's not about perfection, it's about progression. And every time you push through resistance, you're rewriting the story of what's possible for you. Let me ask you, when was the last time you kept your word to yourself? You tell the world you're committed, but how many times have you broken promises to you? Because that's where the real battle happens. Not out there, but in here. The fight between your comfort and your commitment. Between what's easy and what's essential. Discipline means doing what you said you'd do long after the feeling you said it and has left. It's what turns a wish into a weapon. It's what transforms potential into power. And if you can master that one thing, the art of keeping promises to yourself, you become unstoppable. Here's the hook. If you can control your discipline, you can control your destiny. Life doesn't give what you desire. It gives what you demonstrate. When you show life that you're willing to do the hard things, it starts handing you the good things. When you show God that you can be faithful with the little, he'll trust you with the much. Because discipline proves you're ready. It proves you're serious. It proves that you've outgrown your excuses. Discipline is the secret language of success. It's how champions communicate with their future. When you're disciplined, you're saying to your destiny, I'm on the way, keep the door open. Every repetition, every decision, every sacrifice, they're all signals to your future self that you're building something unshakable. And that's the beauty of it. Discipline never feels good in the moment, but it always feels worth it in the result. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. Choose the pain that pays you back. Choose the work that wins you freedom. Because if you master discipline, you'll never have to chase success. Success will start chasing you. And when you finally arrive at that place where your discipline has created dividends, you'll realize it was never about the grind. It was about becoming the kind of person who refuses to quit. That's the real victory. Not just achieving the goal, but evolving into the person who's capable of achieving it again and again. So force yourself to level up, because discipline is not the enemy of your freedom. It's the foundation of it. Comfort is one of the most seductive traps ever designed to keep people average. It feels safe. It feels familiar. It feels easy. And that's exactly why it's dangerous. Comfort doesn't announce its attack. It quietly convinces you that where you are is good enough. It whispers, you've worked hard. You deserve to rest. And while you're resting, your potential is rusting. You can't crave expansion and still cling to comfort. Because comfort will always cost you your calling. The moment you start settling for ease over excellence, your destiny starts shrinking. Comfort is a silent killer of greatness because it disguises mediocrity as peace. Here's the truth. Growth doesn't live in comfort. Growth is born in friction, in the stretch, in the space where you're unsure, but you keep moving anyway. Every level you want in life will require a version of you that discomfort must create. You can't pray for promotion and then complain about pressure. You can't ask for elevation and resist the energy it takes to climb. Comfort zones are beautiful prisons. You decorate them with excuses and call them peace, but deep down, you know it's a cage. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. If you're not stretching, you're settling. And you can't be both safe and successful at the same time. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they refuse to be uncomfortable long enough to change. The greatest enemy of your next level is not your lack of opportunity. It's your addiction to familiarity. You keep repeating patterns that feel predictable, even when they're painful because they're comfortable. But every time you choose comfort, you trade your power for temporary pleasure. You can't conquer new territory with an old mindset. You've got to break out of the routine that keeps you repeating results you don't even want. The moment you start valuing growth over comfort, your life begins to expand. Let me give you a truth that stings before it strengthens. You will never be discovered inside your comfort zone. Nobody finds diamonds on the surface. Nobody reaches gold without digging deep. You've got to be willing to go through the dirt, through the grind, through the discomfort, because that's where your greatness is hiding. The reward is always on the other side of resistance. So stop asking for life to get easier. Start asking to get stronger. Stop running from the hard seasons. Start realizing they're building your next level of strength. Here's the hook. Comfort doesn't protect you, it paralyzes you. It doesn't preserve your peace, it steals your progress. Every time you choose comfort over courage, you delay your destiny. The pain you're avoiding today will become the regret you carry tomorrow. And the only way to break that cycle is to face discomfort head on. You've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because the moment you stop fearing the stretch, you start unlocking your potential. Every great success story began with someone who said, "This feels uncomfortable, but I'll do it anyway." That's where transformation lies, in the tension between what's easy and what's essential. The truth is, comfort is temporary, but the cost of staying there is permanent. When you stay too long in ease, you start losing your edge. You stop innovating, you stop creating, you stop reaching. That's why so many people look alive but feel empty, because they stopped growing. They traded challenge for convenience. But if you want to live a life of excellence, you've got to learn how to outgrow what once felt good. You've got to step out of the familiar and into the faith zone. Every uncomfortable step you take today is a down payment on your future freedom. Comfort wants to keep you ordinary, but your spirit was designed for extraordinary. The life you want will never meet you where you are. It waits where you're willing to grow. So the next time you feel uncomfortable, don't run, lean in. That pressure you feel, that's the proof you're on the edge of elevation. The stretch is shaping you for the strength you prayed for. Because comfort may feel good now, but growth feels better forever. The choice is yours. Stay safe and stay the same, or step out and step into the life you were created to live. Pressure is not your punishment, it's your preparation. Most people run from pressure because they mistake it for pain, but the truth is, pressure is proof that purpose is present. You can't develop strength in stillness. You can't build endurance without resistance. Every challenge that shows up in your life is not designed to break you down. It's there to build you up. You pray for increase, but increase doesn't come wrapped in comfort. It comes disguised as pressure. The pressure is the process that turns who you are into who you're meant to be. Without it, you stay soft. With it, you become solid. Every diamond was once just a piece of coal that refused to crumble under pressure. Think about that. The thing that makes a diamond valuable isn't its origin, it's its endurance. It's what it went through, and that's you. The situations that feel like they're suffocating you right now are actually shaping you. The pressure you're feeling is producing a version of you that's stronger, sharper, and wiser. You just have to stop interpreting pressure as opposition and start seeing it as opportunity. Every struggle is an invitation to strengthen your spirit. Every setback is a setup for the skill set you'll need at your next level. Here's what separates winners from quitters. When winners feel pressure, they focus. When quitters feel pressure, they fold. Pressure has a way of revealing who you really are. It shows you your habits, your discipline, your resilience. It's the ultimate truth teller. When life turns up the heat, will you melt or will you mold? Because that's the moment your character is crafted. Pressure doesn't create weakness. It exposes it so you can fix it. It reveals the parts of you that need to grow. And when you learn to lean into that growth instead of running from it, you evolve into the kind of person who can handle greater blessings without breaking under their weight. Most people pray for strength, but don't realize that strength only comes through struggle. You can't build muscle without resistance, and you can't build character without challenge. The more pressure you handle, the more capacity you develop. That's why you can't curse your challenges. They're stretching your soul. They're enlarging your capacity to carry the success you've been asking for. Pressure is the divine signal that you're about to shift levels. Every time life gets heavier, it's because your destiny is expanding. The question is, will you endure the process long enough to see the promise? Here's the hook. Pressure is the proof that you're being promoted. Nobody attacks what isn't valuable. The more pressure you feel, the closer you are to the breakthrough. The opposition is always greatest right before the opportunity reveals itself. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this preparing me for? Because the truth is, the fight you're in right now is the training ground for the future you're building. The pain that feels unbearable is the very thing that will give you power when you reach your next level. The people who win big in life don't have less pressure. They've just learned how to perform under it. They use it as fuel instead of fear. When things get tough, they don't shrink, they stretch. They let pressure push them into precision. They let it focus their fire. You can't reach excellence without experiencing tension. Every new level of success will require a deeper level of resilience. Pressure teaches you how to operate with grace under grind, how to stay calm in chaos, how to lead even when you're bleeding. That's what greatness demands. So when pressure shows up, don't pray for it to pass. Pray for the strength to persevere through it. Because when the dust settles, you'll realize the pressure didn't come to destroy you. It came to define you. It didn't come to expose your limits. It came to expand them. Every ounce of pressure you face today is producing a force within you that will make you unshakable tomorrow. Let the weight make you stronger, not smaller. Because pressure doesn't crush the chosen. It crowns them. You can't rise to a new level with an old way of thinking. Every breakthrough you've ever prayed for begins with a mental shift. If your mind doesn't grow, your life won't either. You can't live a high-level life with low-level thoughts. The mind is the control tower of your destiny. It's the engine that drives everything you experience. What you think determines what you believe. What you believe determines what you do, and what you do determines what you have. That means your outer world will always be a reflection of your inner world. If you don't like what's showing up in your life, don't change your circumstances first. Change your mindset. Because when your thinking evolves, your whole reality follows. Here's the truth. Most people are trapped not by their environment, but by their mentality. They keep recycling old results because they keep replaying old thoughts. They want transformation, but they're still attached to the same limited beliefs that built their current situation. You can't step into abundance while your mind is still loyal to lack. You can't expect elevation when your thoughts are anchored in fear. You've got to detox your mind from doubt, from defeat, from disbelief, because your life will never rise higher than the level of your thoughts. The battlefield is not around you, it's within you. The real enemy isn't your circumstances, it's your self-talk. You've got to understand that renewing your mind isn't a one-time event, it's a daily discipline. Every morning you wake up, your thoughts will try to pull you back into old patterns. The voices of fear, failure, and frustration will compete for your attention. But you have the power to choose which one you'll feed. Feed your faith, and your fear will starve. Feed your vision, and your doubts will disappear. Every day you must take control of your thoughts before they take control of you. You can't think like a victim and expect to live like a victor. You can't dwell on limitation and expect to walk in liberation. Your mindset is the gateway to your future, and only you hold the key. Here's the hook. Renewing your mind is not just about positive thinking. It's about powerful thinking. Positive thinking makes you feel good, but powerful thinking makes you move different. It's not about ignoring reality. It's about interpreting it through the lens of possibility. It's about saying, yes, this is tough, but I'm tougher. Yes, this looks hard, but I'm built for hard things. When you renew your mind, you start seeing obstacles as opportunities and problems as platforms. What used to intimidate you starts to inspire you because you understand that every challenge is an invitation to grow your capacity. When you transform your thoughts, you transform your energy, you start walking different, talking different, expecting different. People will look at you and wonder what changed, but they won't understand. It's your mind. You stopped feeding on fear and started fueling your faith. You stopped repeating your past and started rehearsing your future. And that shift changes everything. The same situation that once broke you will now build you because your perspective shifted from pain to purpose. You stopped asking, why me? And started asking, what can I learn? That's when the magic happens. When your mindset becomes your multiplier. The people who rise to the top aren't always the smartest, richest, or most connected. They're the ones who learned how to think differently. They stopped letting their current conditions dictate their future conclusions. They started renewing their minds until their belief became stronger than their background. Because success starts in your spirit, and your mind is the soil where that seed grows. If the soil is toxic, the seed can't thrive. But if the soil is rich with faith, gratitude, and growth, that seed can produce abundance in every area of your life. Renew your mind daily until success feels natural. Speak abundance until it sounds like your native language. Train your thoughts to serve your destiny instead of sabotaging it. You are not stuck, your thinking is. And the moment you decide to think higher, everything in your life begins to rise with you. So guard your mind like your greatest treasure, because it is. The quality of your life will always follow the quality of your thoughts. And when your mind levels up, your whole life follows. Every new level of your life will always demand a new version of you. The person you are today is perfectly designed for the results you're currently getting, but not for the results you desire next. You can't take yesterday's habits, attitudes, or thinking into tomorrow's assignment. The version of you that survived your past cannot sustain your future. Growth requires transformation, and transformation requires a decision to release the old you so the upgraded you can emerge. That's the price of elevation. You can't keep holding on to who you were and still become who you're meant to be. Most people never reach their next level because they're emotionally attached to the identity that's holding them back. They say they want change, but they're afraid to let go of what's familiar. They keep repeating patterns that no longer fit their purpose. You can't wear your old mindset into a new season. What got you here won't get you there. The habits that once served you might now be slowing you down. The relationships that once comforted you might now be costing you clarity. The routines that once felt right might now be restricting your rise. Growth is painful because it forces you to shed layers that no longer serve your destiny. But every time you let go of what's lesser, you make space for what's greater. Here's the truth. You're not waiting on your next level. Your next level is waiting on you. It's waiting on you to evolve, to mature, to discipline your emotions, and to think differently. The door to your destiny doesn't open with talent. It opens with transformation. You have to become the kind of person who can handle what you're praying for. Otherwise, success will expose what unpreparedness hides. Every blessing carries a weight, and only a developed version of you can carry it. That's why life keeps giving you tests. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Every challenge is an invitation to grow into the person your future needs. Here's the hook. The life you want is already yours, but it's locked behind the habits you're afraid to change. The next version of you isn't waiting to be discovered, it's waiting to be developed. You can't keep complaining about the same results while refusing to change the routines that created them. If you want a different outcome, you've got to show up as a different you. That means elevating your standards, upgrading your circle, and mastering your mindset. You can't keep operating at a discount and expect premium results. When you start demanding more from yourself, life starts delivering more to you. The greatest transformations happen in silence, in the daily decisions nobody sees. The moments when you choose focus over distraction, discipline over delay, growth over gossip. That's where the next level version of you is born. It's not about perfection, it's about progression. Every small improvement compounds into massive transformation. You don't have to change everything overnight. You just have to stop accepting the version of you that keeps you average. Because the truth is, your next level won't come from working harder. It will come from becoming wiser, stronger, and more intentional. Stop resisting the stretch. The new you can't be built in the comfort of the old you. Growth will always feel uncomfortable because it's pulling you away from what's familiar. But the pain of growth is temporary. The pain of stagnation is permanent. Don't let fear of becoming someone new keep you trapped in who you used to be. Every great leader, every high achiever, every success story began with one choice: to evolve, to become, to rise. And when you finally embrace that transformation, everything changes. Opportunities you couldn't see before suddenly appear. The right people start showing up. The momentum shifts in your favor. Because life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you're ready for. The moment you become the version of yourself that your next level requires, doors open that were once locked. So stop clinging to your comfort zone and step boldly into your becoming. The world doesn't need a copy of who you were. It's waiting for the full expression of who you're called to be. The next version of you is your breakthrough. So rise into it, because your destiny is waiting for your evolution. So here's my closing thought. If you don't force yourself to level up, life will force you to face what you refuse to fix. But when you decide, really decide, that enough is enough, your power returns. Your vision clears, your fire reignites. And that's when doors start opening, not because the world changed, but because you did. So today, make that commitment. Push past your comfort. Rise above your excuses. And declare with conviction, I will force myself to level up, because my next season deserves my best self.